Hi, I want to tell you about some of the safety features that we have in our lab, things that are going to help you stay safe in our lab. The first thing we want to make sure we do in every lab is make sure we have our goggles on. They look pretty cool, but they're going to protect our eyes. And the glass station is going to be over here next to the wall. You're going to go automatically over to the goggles, and you're going to put on your goggles before you start any lab. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the way that you're dressed in my lab. Whenever we have labs, make sure you don't have loose articles, like I'm wearing this necklace. If I'm doing a lab right here, I could get my jewelry caught in the lab, or if I have any loose clothing that I'm wearing. And in the winter, you might have longer sleeves that are dangly, that you could get caught in Bunsen burners and other equipment. They could dip in acids. You want to make sure that we remove that before we come into our lab. Things like fleeces that we wear in the winter, those things are also going to catch on fire with our Bunsen burners, so we want to make sure that we're not wearing any kind of loose clothing or stuff made of fleece is generally the typical stuff that we see in the lab. That stuff is flammable, so we want to watch what we wear in the lab. Another thing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my protective coat to block my clothing from getting caught in the lab. But another thing that happens in our lab, especially girls, is our hair. So we want to have our goggles on, and we want to put our hair back if we're going to do any kind of lab in this classroom. Long hair can get in the way. It can get in chemicals, but it can also get in our Bunsen burner. We don't want to have singed hair in our lab. A couple of other safety things, such as the fire extinguisher. This thing is going to be over by the goggles, and right now it has a pin in it, and what we would do is pull the pin, and you're going to aim the hose where the fire is, and pull the trigger once the pin is pulled. So we want to make sure we know how to do that in case there's a fire and it gets out of control. There's also a fire blanket over by the goggles as well, and we're going to use that first to try to stop the fire. If it's out of control, we use more of the fire extinguisher. And then, of course, we're going to go to the phone, which is located by the door. Make sure you're familiar where all these things are. And we want to call the front desk, 3420, to make sure there is emergency faculty coming to our rescue. We're also going to send someone down the hall and try to get someone as well. We want to make sure that we ventilate the windows if we do have labs that are going to require ventilation. And we also have, for the worst case scenario, is our safety shower and sink. And I'll show you that. So our safety shower and sink's over here. And I really want to stress, I know in other grades you guys kind of played around with this just to have fun. But in our lab, we take it seriously, and we will not pull the shower triangle for fun. We will also not push the tab for the sink, the eye wash station, for fun. But this is our eye wash station and our safety shower in case we get any acids on our clothes or in our face, that we want to make sure we wash it properly. This is our chemical hood, and I'm pretty much the one that's going to be working in this hood. You will with permission, but I just wanted to show you that. Just so I can show you over here. Here's our goggles, and in that case right there is where the fire extinguisher was that I'll put back, and there's our fire blanket. Please come to me if you have any questions on what to do to maintain a safe lab.